All right, everybody, welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we get to not only learn about and meet our CFE coaches as well as our CFE CrossFitters, but also we get to meet and learn some of our locally owned Glen Ed businesses and some of the characters behind that as well. I'm your co-host, Dallas Amston. Glad to have you all here. I'm the founder of the Men of Faith and Fire movement, and I'm host of the podcast of the same name. Today, I get the opportunity again to talk with Coach Greg G. Skelly, or Coach G as we sometimes call him. He is the general manager and part of the coaching team here at CrossFit Edwardsville. Coach G. Skell, what's up?
Hey, man. Feeling good today. I'm excited to have this podcast. This is podcast 2 out of 3, talking about the new CrossFitter journey.
Yep.
And I was thinking about this before we went live that, you know, being a part of the coaching team here at CFE for 11 years, I have literally had thousands of no sweat conversations. I have literally had thousands of first class experiences here. And so this is like second nature to me now to have. I know it backwards and forwards, but it's amazing. Like, it's not super obvious, somebody who's new to our community, right? The outside looking in, because I think there's this very persistent perception that what CrossFit is Dallas, you want to do some fitness? Great. Come on in. We're going to throw you into this group class. We're going to put a bunch of weight on your barbell and hope and pray that things go well while you figure it out as you go along. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're reckless. We're foolhardy. We're haphazard. We're a bunch of like super macho idiots that are just going to make you do all kinds of silly and stupid things that you're not appropriate to do yet. And like, so I think that this is going to be really eye-opening for a lot of people to learn just how thoughtful and how structured and how intelligent the onboarding really is at CrossFit Edwardsville.
For sure. And it's definitely scaled to your current level of fitness and your current knowledge. And I would say, as we're hopping into this, I would say for me personally, part of what kept me away from CrossFit, I knew about it for 2 years before. Part of what kept me away from it was, man, I don't want to go in and look like an idiot, not being able to do all this Olympic weightlifting and this and that. And so that definitely is something that I think CrossFit Edwardsville handles really well. And even with me having some gymnastics in my background, with me having the weightlifting stuff too in my background, I still felt like I'm going to look like an idiot amongst all of these cool CrossFitters because I had this like online mentality of what CrossFit was supposed to look like from a competitive side versus a day in, day out lifestyle fitness guide.
Right.
Yeah.
And CrossFit does have this bipolar image thing where there's like, on the one hand, there's the CrossFit as a sport, the elite CrossFitters that you see on ESPN.
Yep.
And then there's like those of us who just want to look awesome, we want to feel awesome, we want to be able to do really cool things and be just amazingly well-rounded, capable people, right?
Yeah.
And so
and some of us just want a fun exercise experience. We don't want just the typical crank or elliptical back and forth. It gets very mentally exhausting to continue that. And so some of us have that experience as well, the CrossFit.
Yeah, you also make this more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
You also make this more effective than trying to figure it out in your garage with 2 dumbbells.
Right.
Than trying to figure out at Planet Fitness where everybody's kind of side-eyeing you the whole time you're there. Right. They're judging you from the minute you arrive.
100%.
And like all these gym bros are like taking selfies and making the women feel awkward, and like the women are where they're going to get approached by guys. It's like this super awkward situation, and it's like, we're actually really proud that the community here at CFE is like the antithesis of all those problems. Yeah, like it's just, and we'll get more into this too as we go along, because as part of this, I'm excited to share this with everybody is to demystify what this actually looks like. If you're new to this, you might be a great exerciser now. If you're new to this, you might be just getting back into the game after a long layoff.
Yep.
The dad life, the mom life kind of took over your life for a while. You're looking at this like, I need a coach. I don't know what to do. I want to have somebody who's going to guide me along.
Yep.
But you have those questions. What does it look like to start at CrossFit? And that's what this podcast is about.
That's what this is all about. So this is part 2, everybody, of a 3-part conversation that we are having to really, what does it look like for a brand new CrossFitter coming into or starting out at CrossFit Edwardsville? So I'm going to say it again. There are 3 steps in this process. Number 1 is the no sweat conversation. Number 2 is the first class experience. And then number 3 is the first 30 days at CFE, at CrossFit Edwardsville. So in our last podcast episode, we talked about the no sweat conversation, kind of telling you exactly what that entails. Feel free. I'm sure we'll have links available to the other episodes in this series once we post the videos, but you can listen to that episode at our website or our podcast YouTube page. But today specifically, we are going to talk about the first class experience, step number 2 in this process. So, G,
yep.
Let me ask you this, let's just hop right into it. Cause again, we know if you're new to CrossFit Edwardsville or new to CrossFit, just wanting to learn a little bit more about it, they can find out about us, but I'll let you do that a little bit. Where can they find out about us and read a little bit more about us?
So obviously CrossFit Edwardsville is a great, CrossFit Edwardsville's website, crossfitedwardsville.com is a great resource, but you can learn so much more by Googling CrossFit Edwardsville and read our Google reviews. We have 1,000 of them. You can hear what people say about their experience here. Yeah. Some of our prospective CrossFitters are on Facebook. Find us on Facebook, read our Facebook reviews. We got a bunch of them there too. You can find us on Yelp, read our Yelp reviews, right? Yeah. And in this process of discovery, like if you're on Instagram, find us on Instagram. There's videos, there's photos, there's cool features, cool graphics. Yep. You can learn about the CrossFitters and their success stories, learn about the coaches and their credentials and their backgrounds. You can learn so much about us by even just taking, 10 minutes to go through all the social medias and all of the search engines you can find and just dig into CrossFit Edwardsville. You can learn a ton about us that way and get a real sense for the feel, the flavor, the culture here at CFE. Start there. Start there. If you're down, then the next step is that no sweat conversation we talked about in the last podcast. And then from there, if you're like, all right, cool, this is exciting. This sounds great. I want to be a part of this, right? I want to try it. I want to put my feet into the CrossFit water, see if I dig it. Then we go to that first class experience.
Once you've had a taste, you will not want to go back. I can guarantee that. So let's start at the beginning. So like you said, well, I guess step 2.
Sure.
You just mentioned we had the no sweat conversation. Now we book the first class experience. G, what should I expect with the first class experience?
Yeah, the first class experience is you and a coach, just you and a coach. And on what level, first it's an actual workout. It's an actual workout, but it's a workout that's designed to be first appropriate for your present level of fitness based on like what we've identified in the no sweat conversation. It's specifically engineered to you. Every single one of these is done custom. Every single one of these is unique. So if Dallas Amsden comes in, his first class experience will be a workout that is written uniquely, specifically for him, based on what he wants to get, based on his exercise history, what we know about what he's done before, what he likes to do, what he wants to do in a gym experience. And then in this workout, on one level, you can think of it like it's somewhat a fitness assessment where the coach is identifying what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, how coachable are you, what would it look like for you to onboard into the CrossFit thing. But on a more important level, we consider this first class experience to be a mutual interview where obviously you're interviewing us to see, are we awesome? Is this my tribe? Are these my people? Do I connect and do I jive? Do I resonate with the people here? Do they resonate with me? Do I feel at home? Do the coaches make me laugh? Do the coaches make me feel at ease? Do the coaches, are they clearly masters of their craft? Can you tell that they have been doing this a long time and they know this stuff backwards and forwards? Can they make this fitness thing exciting, enjoyable, effective for me personally? So you're evaluating us on all of these levels, but we're also essentially interviewing you to see, are you fun, positive, uplifting, loving, respectful, the kind of person that doesn't bring drama, doesn't bring gossip, but you're just a good person, because we know if we get a room full of people that are all extremely driven, extremely motivated, and they're just good people and they're good to each other, like the energy of that, you can feel that, and it makes for a much more uplifting, motivating, powerful exercise experience that will enable you and empower you to do way more than you could ever do on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can attest, first class experience for me was definitely fun. Still pushed me a little bit, still got my heart rate up, still got me sweating, still got me moving. But having, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I had my first class experience with Coach Sean, and he of course had me laughing. And we were able to play with each other. I know Coach Caroline does some, you do some, like different coaches, depending on when someone's able to book it.
And our sense for style as well.
Yeah.
Like, because while all of our coaching team, we speak a common lexicon.
Yeah.
And we all know the bases that a person needs to hit in order to have a successful, fun, safe journey into CrossFit. We know that. We also recognize that each coach kind of has their own flavor, their own style.
Yeah.
And some people will resonate more with Bailey. Some people will resonate more with Caroline. And so to an extent, we can also match you to a coach based on, there are coaches that definitely resonate more with people that are 25 to 45, married, working professional, history of exercise. They've done fitness before. They come to us because they're stuck with their board. They want to level up their fitness. We have people that definitely resonate more with certain coaches that are better with the youth athlete population, right? So we try and tailor that as well. So you have a coach that would be a culture fit for you as well.
For sure.
And I think it's really important to note also that the first class experience is not going to be the coach trying to impress you with how hard CrossFit can be.
Right. No.
Because that is not a productive way for a person to start their fitness journey. Like, if you're new to this, we already recognize the balls, the guts, the curves it takes to even reach out to us in the first place. We know that because even us, like, singing this song and clarifying all these things for you, it is probably still a scary thing.
Yeah.
Even if you're a great athlete, to come across and say, hey, I'd like to come and meet you guys and learn more and try this. We know it's scary, right? And so the coaches recognize that. And on day one, you do this much. Day two, you do this much. And we'll get more into this in the next podcast, but the first 30 days. But every step of this journey is customized, tailored, individualized to you, so you can actually enjoy it. So you come to the gym, you do a workout, but you get a sense of victory. You leave after that workout feeling that was an appropriate challenge for me. It's the coach isn't trying to beat me down into the ground into submission. It's the coach creating an experience for me that is right for me on this day at my present life station.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember, so I'm going to tell two stories here really quickly. One, a couple years ago, before CrossFit Edwardsville, I was a member of a Globo gym, who shall remain nameless. I'll say it. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I had as part of my membership there, I had a free training session with one of their coaches, and I could tell I stepped into a cookie cutter conversation and a cookie cutter programming.
Right.
But he worked me so hard that I could barely sit the next day. Like he was specific about leg work and all of that. And I just remember going, man, that wasn't at all what I had asked for or told him my goals were. I could tell I fit into a cookie cutter. This is just his first class thing. Yeah. And then my first class experience over at CrossFit Edwardsville, the amount of conversation on the front end of it, I was like, oh, heck yeah. There's like, and I felt like I stepped into an environment, and I'm not hard pitching here for CFE, but I am, because I'm totally involved in the community now.
You're totally bought in now, but you're seeing the other side.
At the time, I walked away from that experience. I didn't feel like I wanted to vomit. I could definitely sit the next day. I definitely was like, man, that wasn't as brutal as I wanted. Like, that wasn't as brutal as I thought it was going to be based on this Globo gym trainer experience. And so to me, I walked away going, man, they knew exactly what my limitations were stepping into it, and they didn't lean into the limitation. They pushed me toward excellence of movement and excellence of form, which was really great to see too. So yeah, I'm definitely sold on the onboarding process.
Something that you mentioned too before, I think you have a second story you want to share also. Before we get to that, there's something you mentioned earlier is, I think this is a subtext, I think, that every single person feels before they come to us. They don't want to look like an idiot when they come to the gym.
Right.
They don't want to be embarrassed when they come to the gym, right?
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and make it super, super clear that the coach is not going to throw something at you that you are not ready to do yet.
Right.
Because it is defeating, emotionally, psychologically defeating for you to come in and be asked to do something where you end up feeling like you look like an idiot. You feel like you're like, I don't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make it clear. The coach is not going to throw you into some sort of thing and try and make you out to be like lesser than.
Right.
Right. Because you probably have strengths. You know, some people come to us with all kinds of strengths they already have. People have come to us with all kinds of weaknesses that they already have. Yep. If you've been lifting, you may recognize I'm missing a lot of that cardio, endurance, stamina piece, right?
Yep.
Maybe you've been doing the cardio, endurance, stamina piece. You haven't done the lifting, right? You have certain strengths. You have certain weaknesses. One of the cool things about having this journey be like tailored, specified to you, in CrossFit world, we call it scaling the workout appropriately. That's our CrossFit term. One of the cool things about it is it will take your strengths and make them superpowers. Yeah. And it will take your weaknesses and make them strengths. Yep. But it'll be done one step at a time. So at no point do you walk away from it feeling like, wow, they just made me look bad. Because you never want to feel like that when you go to the gym.
Yeah, and I even remember there was a specific thing that I just sucked at right at the beginning, and in my first class experience, Sean was like, "Okay, let's move away from that." So, like, he specifically knew we'll cover that technique and that in the first 30 days, Dallas. Don't stress about that now. Let's move you to the next thing. And he was able to assess that, and so it was very. I didn't feel at all exposed in that. And I have a fairly decent ego, and I still didn't want to feel exposed.
and you don't deserve to feel like that, right? So we're very sensitive to that.
Yeah,
I do want to throw this out there also, that back in the day before I was aware of CrossFit, before CrossFit was a part of my life, I went to the Global Gym. I did that first private coaching session with somebody who was, essentially my introduction to the gym. Yeah. And he pushed me very, 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 very hard. Yeah. And I remember so clearly, I was sitting in the locker room after the session was done, fighting back the urge to vomit. Like, I was like, if I move too fast right now, I am going to throw up. I remember how terrible that felt. And I remember thinking to myself, and that's why I'd already been sort of doing the gym thing. Yeah. I remember that stuck with me because I remember, like, if I had not been doing the gym thing, let's say I was on a college, sports team, then I graduated from college, got married, had kids. I've been out of the game for a couple of years. Yeah. If I was that person, how much more defeating, how much worse this would have been to have somebody just like force feed a violent amount of fitness to me. Like, that is not a good first class experience. Yep. Let's have a first class experience. Right.
And I think to your point here, again, and what to expect, the idea here, everybody, is that if you're new to CrossFit, or if you're, moving to the area and you want to restart your CrossFit journey or whatever, you really want to know that you fit into the culture of the gym itself. And that's a very important key to part of this process, is really this idea of fitting into the culture. So G, we're going to get into the next step here in our next episode, what the first 30 days looks like, because that's going to include the onboarding process, the foundations classes, all the stuff. But if I'm listening today and I'm ready to have that no sweat conversation, or ready to make that first class experience from the no sweat conversation, really, what should I be doing if I'm ready to take the next step?
Open up your cell phone, unlock your cell phone, go to your browser, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com. On there, there's a link. Are you new? Click that link. It'll take you right to a booking calendar where you can schedule your no sweat conversation with us, probably by phone. It'll just be a chill conversation between yourself and one of the people on the team here, probably one of the coaches. And then we'll identify, what does this first class experience, what's it going to look like for you uniquely, specifically? And then we'll go to that next step of the first class experience.
Yep. So again, everybody, if you're watching us here, it's very easy to check this out. You won't believe it. It's really large on the website. It says, "Are you new?" And then all you have to do is click the old clickety-click, and you
can't miss it. It's so obvious.
It literally says click here. You click there, and then it'll set you up here. My browser's streaming a little slow, but once that goes through, it'll set you up. Again, click that click here button as the "Are you new?" question, and then it says getting started. And you can look at that happy group. Look at that smiling group of people ready to go. And there you are, G, on the left.
And this page will outline, all right, you're new to CrossFit, here is step one.
Step one.
And just so you know, if you want to know what step two is already, here is step two.
Yep.
You want to know what step three is? Step three is written right here. It actually spells it out for you.
Yep.
The journey, so that it becomes more approachable. No surprises. You don't want surprises. You want answers.
Yep.
Start there.
And it's new to CrossFit or for experienced CrossFitters as well. It makes it very easy. And again, that's CrossFitEdwardsville.com. And you can also journey along with us on our social media, Instagram and Facebook at CrossFit Edwardsville. And I think that is it. So in our next episode, we're going to talk about what the first 30 days looks like for you in this step-by-step process. But in the meantime, my friends, go out there, and as I always like to say, what am I going to say, G?
Have yourselves championship day.
Boom.